Hi guys, welcome to the Gaming Den. My name is James Lynn. I'm one of Eric's friends, and for this video I'll be showcasing the Lagann deck that I ran for this evening's shop challenge in Houston. So levels in our lineup, I run 4 of these. They're runners from the trial deck, free runners, easy to keep alive on field, helps maintain your stock. Standard. I also run, take this aside, 4 Nias, consistency. They are your best turn 2 play, usually. Block yourself from stock, search for 1 or lower, help set up your 1 game, or grabs any zeros in emergencies, brainstormers, whatever. 4 of those. Pretty expensive. This deck uses the trial deck level 3 as its endgame, so I run 4 of the level 0, a fusion piece for it. It's also a nice tap to get 15, which combos well with the runner since I can actually kill stuff with it and stay alive on board. For the others, just 3 brainstorms. Brainstorms aren't as necessary in this deck. They do give power to the markers, so my level 3 is kind of big with them. It does help mill through field, mill through deck, but this deck can be kind of stock heavy, especially if you're doing the pay 1, ditch 1 to burn. So only 3, there's not as essential in this deck as other decks might be. I run these. It's a good hand filter. Instead of the Nia, which is clocking yourself to search your deck, it's pay 1, discard a card, just salvages. So, and it is also a good, gets rid of troublesome level 0s if you need to, since it kicks stuff to clock. Another option I would have, could have swapped this out with 1 card from the box topper, which is the Ditch Climax to salvage, but for this particular build, it actually requires some green for its late game, so I run 2 of these instead. Level 1, I run this as 1 tech. This is also from the box topper. It cannot be reversed by cost zeros. It is useful in this meta because a lot of decks these days run costless level 1 combos, so this helps stay on board. If I can't kill it, it's fine, it still can't kill me. If I don't see my level 1 climax, which is the Kamina Climax, the yellow, if I don't see this for whatever reason, then for the Nia, I would probably search this out first, then I can give myself a lane and have some stuff to swing. Because as you'll see, I don't really run a lot of level 1s in this deck. 2 standard counters, 2k, also green, good for color splashing. 2 of these gives power on attack to another Dai-Gurren based on the number of auto Dai-Gurrens I have times 500. Useful if I really need to get over something. Useful pretty much at all levels of the game. If my runner's still up, I can kill stuff with it. If I need to get stuff over Kamina, if I need to kill stuff with my level 3s. Since this is your main blessing combo, I run 4 Kaminas. They're pretty useful in the sense that they search your deck. They also run away, so it also denies reverse effects from your opponents. I initially tried this deck because, as you can see, there are no more level 1s. So I was a little curious as to whether the fact that it goes away, mandatory as long as you have 2 or less in memory. I was a little bit iffy about it, but it seems to work fairly well. I always manage to find other things to play in my place if I don't hit level 2.
That's the same. It's funny because I used to talk to him a lot and
level 2 game, 1 tech. There's a lot of early changes or standbys, troublesome things that come out. If they try to early play stuff, get rid of it with this. The other reason I don't run the level 0 Ditch Climax is because I have him instead. He also ditches I can ditch a Climax on play of him to help filter my deck if I'm about to refresh and there's stuff stuck in my hand. Also helps boost my level 3s to decent amounts. It was either this or running the other level 2 that boosts markers, but I do like the ditch outlet, so I use this. I only run 3 of these, even though I run 4 of the zeros, because this card if you don't have the 0, it's really lousy because the 2-1 1500. The only point of this is to facilitate the change. So running 3 should be sufficient. Plus, you don't really need to bring out like a full field right away. So I can live with only these. The 0s also run more of because I like seeing them immediately. They're useful in all points of the game. This one not nearly as much. Level 3, we'll set these aside for now. This is silly tech options. So the main thing that comes out, the big player of this deck, is this guy. This guy comes out early with the 2-1 and the level 0 head booster. Draw 2, ditch 1, so you're not really negging cards per se. Like for this, I don't see the initial fusion as a neg because you're replacing this probably with like a level 2 assist, and still, you're only paying 1. The fact that it gives you cards back helps you with advantage, mainly because the second ability, if you can reverse stuff of your turn or off turn, pay 1 just your card to burn. Essentially, how I see it is, instead of having to place an honor card on that lane, since I keep that lane, assuming they crash into it, I use resources instead to keep pushing for more damage. Now, it's very tricky when to use this and when not to, because if you use it when it doesn't really matter, if you're still like early level 2, you're burning all your resources, and you're not really closing the gap much. So that's the main issue is it's a good finisher, but it's not a good way of trying to catch up on damage. But still, you run 4 of these because it's insanely cheap to bring out. So, tech options. Initially, I ran the level 3 Simon that has a climax combo on reverse pay 1 ditch to burn 4. I took that out because it really wasn't doing me much. Plus the fact that you have to reverse, and in this game, reversing can be kind of tricky. The Simon's not that big. It has effect to bring down the commune for power, but again, it costs another stock, so... sorry. Before I get into these, let's bring these out. Early play heals, 2 of those climaxes. Also has on attack, gives someone else the ability to, the same thing as this ability, on reverse, pay 1 ditch to burn. I thought that was kind of mad first, so I realized it was every time she attacked, it's not turn she comes out like most cards are. So if they can't deal with it for some reason, it's always a nice, hey, I can give one of my other characters on field a burn. Plus a heal can be nice. Plus you always, want heals if you're stuck at 3-6 for whatever reason, this comes in handy. So, as mentioned earlier, I took out the Simons because their extra sources of sources of damage felt way too conditional for me. I mean, you have to get Simon, and you have to get the climax, and you have to reverse, and you have to have resources for it. So I threw these in instead. Giga Jailbreak. The cool thing about it, so these are all events, and events are meh because you can't search for them. You have to draw into them, but he draws 2 ditch 1, so you have more of a decent chance to be able to grab the things you need. Works on 2 characters. The only character I care about is any character with Gurren Lagann in name, aka this in this deck. And beginning of climax phase, as long as it's on center stage, deals 4. So unless they can actually bounce this or remove it, this is pretty much guaranteed. Pretty nice. Also goes well with this guy. The main reason why I splash greed and try to make sure I have greed in here, it is kind of restrictive because you have to be at 3/4 to use it, and you do have to ditch 2 Dai-Gurren, so you can't just ditch any card. But in the right scenario, again, it does negate damage. Well, basically, you choose up on 3 of these effects. It could potentially save you from dying, assuming they're being attacked by level 3, and it basically sets you up for Giga Jailbreak. It grabs this from waiting room if it's there, and you can stock up to 2 from the top of your stock, so it helps pay for this. It's a splash. There is a level 0 assist that can get this, but the 0 is locked in slot, and I have no space for it, so it is just a one-up. Again, because it's so restrictive, I don't run more than 1, but there are times where it can come in handy. Plus, it gives me a chance to salvage just from waiting. You can play it during your turn. You just don't get the -3 slow because I'm in battle. And because enough people are scared of this, and because I've sacked people before, I run this cross-counter event from the trial deck, which also, this one specifically goes with this card. Unlike Giga Drill Break, which goes on Dai-Gurren Lagann. This is also, it's essentially not a source of damage. If 3k power, if I can kill something with it, it deals 4. Pretty good. Downsides are I can only use a level 3, so if I change into Gurren Lagann early and I'm still at 2, this is useless. And it's also, you have to choose a Gurren in battle, so you can't even use this during your turn either. So also fairly restrictive, but it's just, I feel these are sources of damage that your opponent can't really anticipate. Plus, you know, if you can kill something with this, deal 4, and then if your Gurren reverses stuff, you know, pay 1, ditch 1, burn, potentially close the game when they're not expecting. But again, since I've always restrictions, these are only one-offs. And Climax Split, level 1 Climax shot goes with the Communist Surge, and doesn't really matter at this point since I don't have a level 3 Climax combo. I just run any doors. And that's what I ran today. And so far it's done pretty well. I had some unfortunate losses today, but it's probably what I'll be running in regionals. So thanks for listening to this deck profile, and thanks for joining us at the Gaming Den.